After his birth, he began to cry, "O destiny maker, teacher of the universe, kindly designate my name and place." So here, Shiva speaks to Brahma, because Brahma, as we remember, became very angry. Kumaras didn't want to do what he liked, but he suppressed his anger. He said he did not vent it, he did not leave it out, so to say, let it out, because he knew, oh, these Kumaras, the sons I created, they are very saintly and they are very, detached. So I cannot make a whole show now. It wouldn't look good. So he kind of suppressed his anger, but the anger came out between his eyes as Shiva, as Rudra. So Shiva, or Rudra, is a manifestation of Brahma's anger. And here now he speaks. And now he speaks and says, "Oh, destiny maker, teacher of the universe, give me a name." This is the first thing he says, "Kindly designate my name and place. Who am I? Or give me a name and say where I should go, what I shall do." Translate next verse. "Iti tasya vajapatmo bhagavan paripalayan apyadat badraya vaja marudis tat karomite." The all-powerful Brahma, who was born from the lotus flower, pacified the boy with gentle words, accepting his request, and said, "Do not cry, I shall certainly do as you desire." Because Rudra, here this word, in the verse today, we had the word Rurodha. I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know. Okay, don't want to speculate. Okay. Anyways, but he was crying very loudly, he was screaming. Text 10. Yat arodi sura shrishta sotvika iva balakaha tatastvam abhidasyanti namna rudra iti brajaha. Thereafter Brahma said, "O chief of the demigods, you shall be called by the name Rudra by all people because you have so anxiously cried." So it seems that the word Rudra means someone who cries very loudly. But crying in English, means what? Because this means also weinen. But I don't think he was crying tears. It was more like screaming, Or I don't understand that he was, because in English you say crying for both, for how to say weinen. I don't know that word in English, and also for screaming, or isn't it?
I don't think so.
But he was crying. Why was Rudra crying? Crying is more when you're sad.
Maybe he had some existential crisis.
You think so?
He didn't know what his name was.
And he was crying, "Oh, please." I understood it more like in a more powerful mood, that he was like more kind of angrily.
But Brahma was the angry one, and then manifested.
But Rudra is a manifestation of his anger. But crying, I don't know if it's the proper word. It seems more. I don't know. Okay, we cannot decide that. Rit indriyanya survyoma vayuragnirma chalam mahi suryas chandras tapaschaiva stanani agrikritani te. My dear boy, I have already selected the following places for your residence: the heart, the senses, the air of life, the sky, the air, the fire, the water, the earth, the sun, the moon, and austerity. So these are now the places for Rudra or Shiva to stay. So interesting places. So here we have now purport. The creation of Rudra from between the eyebrows of Brahma, as the result of his anger generated from the mode of passion, partly touched by ignorance, is very significant. In Bhagavad-gītā 3:37, the principle of Rudra is described. Krodha, anger, is the product of kāma, lust, which is the result of the mode of passion. When lust and hankering are unsatisfied, the element of Krodha appears, which is the formidable enemy of the conditioned soul. This most sinful and inimical passion is represented as ahaṅkāra, or the false egocentric attitude of thinking oneself to be all in all. Such an egocentric attitude on the part of the conditioned soul, who is completely under the control of material nature, is described in Bhagavad-gītā as foolish. The egocentric attitude is a manifestation of the Rudra principle in the heart, wherein Krodha, anger, is generated. This anger develops in the heart and is further manifested through various senses like the eyes, hands, and legs. When a man is angry, he expresses such anger with red-hot eyes and sometimes makes a display of clenching his fists or kicking his legs. This exhibition of the Rudra principle is the proof of Rudra's presence in such places. When a man is angry, he breathes very rapidly, and thus Rudra is represented in the air of life, or in the activities of breathing. When the sky is overcast with dense clouds and roars in anger, and when the wind blows very fiercely, the Rudra principle is manifested. And so also when the seawater is infuriated by the wind, it appears in a gloomy feature of Rudra, which is very fearful to the common man. When fire is ablaze, we can also experience the presence of Rudra, and when there is an inundation of the earth, we can understand that this is also the representation of Rudra. And before I continue this purport, so just to put this together. So the Rudra principle is the principle of anger, as Prabhupada explains here. It's really powerful anger. And at first, Prabhupada quotes a verse from the Bhagavad-gītā, where this principle is described and how it is generated. Is a very famous verse, 337, where Krishna says, kāma esha Krodha esha rajaguna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidi enam iha vairinam. Where it said, it is lust alone which is the cause for sinful activity, because Arjuna was asking what's the cause for sinful activity, and out of this lust comes Krodha. Kāma esha, Krodha esha, comes anger. So whenever we are angry is always a result of unsatisfied lust or desires. You want something what you don't get. It's like always like this. Whenever you are angry with someone or some situation, something happens. You're not getting what you want. It's like a small child going through the supermarket with the parents and want this, that, and the mother says, no, come on. And what's the child doing? This is a representation of the Rudra principle. This child is completely under the principle of Rudra. I don't get what I want and I'm not happy because of this. I'm angry. I want this. And Prabhupada goes here into detail explaining this egocentric mentality of the conditioned soul is the problem. And then and it expresses itself very strongly. It can happen if someone's really, really, really angry. Prabhupada first says the eyes get red. The eyes get red hot. And he breathes heavily. And he clenches his fist and kicks his legs. So the whole body is completely overtaken by anger. And maybe some of us sometimes had this in the past, some maybe not so much, but some things might be there when you're angry. When I hit something, or this has to get out, the anger. Or you yell, and this is also another thing. When we're angry, we might curse, stupid, or something like this. So, but devotees should not have that, right? Devotees should not have that. Devotees should be very saintly and very tolerant. Yeah? And this is one of the duties for a devotee, for a yogi, to control his passions. To control his passions. And we have to control the anger. But how can we control the anger if we don't have intense desires and expectations? It has to be like this. And if it's not like that, then I get frustrated, I become angry. So we should learn to be free of it. Nothing has to be as I want it. Nothing. And there we can see how advanced we are. And this is when you see that a devotee is very advanced, that nothing can shake him. Nothing. Like nothing. Because he has no expectations. Nothing has to be as he likes. And then he is flexible when it comes other ways. Because there are no other ways. Now, other ways would mean this is my way and it comes other way and now I have to deal with it. But if there is no my way, like one devotee always cited Frank Sinatra, who sings, I did it my way. Huh? Everyone knows this song. Huh? And where this devotee always said, this is the expression of complete foolishness. I did it my way. It's like a hymn. Huh? It's like a hymn for the materialist. Wow, yes, I did it my way. My way is the highway, and this is success in life if I did it my way. And interesting, you know where this song is played most often? At a funeral. At a funeral, this is one of, because at funeral they kind of want to, this is one of the songs which is most often played. I had a friend who died in a car accident, and I went to his funeral and they played this song. They played this song, I did it my way. I did it my way. Where is he now? You know what he did, And you end in the grave. How you do it your way? You end in the grave. What kind of glorious way is that? Especially for materialists whose death is really not glorious. The death of a materialist is terrible because he doesn't want to die. He's afraid and is shaking. Oh. A devotee is dying gloriously because he's not afraid. He accepts death with grace. Completely different. So the anger principle, we have to learn how can we not be angry? Yeah, if you're tolerant, humble, not expecting, and it's not easy. It's the greatest challenge in life. Isn't there? There's a statement that a man is powerful if he can control, what was it? If he can control his family. What was it? He can control his children, his family, his wife. If he controls them, if they are really paka, he can lead them actually to liberation. You should not become a guru, a husband, or a wife, a mother, a father, or any person of authority if you cannot liberate your dependents from the circle of birth and death. There's a statement in 5th canto by, I think, Rishabdev. You should not become husband, mother, father, any person of authority if you cannot liberate, or a king, a politician, if you cannot liberate your dependents from the circle of birth and death. So a man is very glorious, it's said, if he can control his family, control in a positive sense, help them, really lead them. They listen to him because he's good. You should listen to the good person. But he's more glorious, a man is more glorious, more powerful if he can control a whole community. Like temple presidents. Oh, it's more glorious. It's not only taking care of his small family unit in his 4 walls. Oh, in my house, here I'm the boss, but outside nobody cares. No, if he also outside is respected and people listen to him. And he is more glorious if he can control a whole village. And he's more glorious if he can control a whole city. Everyone in the whole city listens to him. The real powerful mayor. Whatever he says, everyone does and benefits from this. And he said a man is even more glorious if he can control the whole earth. Maybe the lands before that, and the continent and the land. You understand? And the man is most powerful, more powerful if he can control the whole universe. But then it said, but the man is the most powerful man is the one who can control his mind. This is the most powerful. This is most difficult. You can control your mind. And this is also the reason why Arjuna is. Krsna, it's so difficult to control the mind. It's more difficult than to control the wind. Now the last days, we had so many winds here, and also in India there was the cyclone and all that. How you want to control the wind? And said, to control the wind, it's easier than to control the mind. And mind is not just, oh, Prabhu, I think this and that. No, mind means the whole internal activities. Because mind is the sentimental element connected to all these emotions. And sometimes we go into turmoil. We are in a chaos of emotions. You know this? Chaos of emotions. You feel happy, you feel sad, you feel bitter, you feel angry, you feel free, you feel empty. Sometimes everything at the same moment. Everything is the same moment. You don't know what. Happy, not happy. You're like, oh, like in a whole drama. Yeah, we're in a whole drama. And it's only inside. And we have problems with intense emotions. Sometimes we have problems with no emotions. Because I get many responses from my YouTube and in online work. And now one person told me, because he wanted to know more about spiritual life. And he told me a story that he had I don't know all the details, but he had an accident many years ago. And he had a near-death experience, he said. He had a near-death experience. And he was in a hospital, and then he left his body, and he was flying through the whole universe, and there were all these stars and all these beings, and there was he's a huge being, an all-knowing being, and he wanted to know what this was, and explained the whole thing to me, and then he said it was intense and interesting, but then it had a downside. When I came back, I felt for like 2 weeks no emotions, and this was the shocking thing. Interesting connection. He said he felt no emotions. His mother came and hugged him, and he said he felt nothing. It was like a stone, and it was really terrible. And some people have this. They have like real emotionless states, and they feel terrible. They really feel terrible because they cannot feel much, but they are like empty shells. Yeah. So the mind, to control all, and especially in Kali Yuga, we are lost sometimes. It's interesting how, not interesting, it's shocking at times that even devotees are also devotees, because we are humans like everyone else, just practicing Krishna consciousness, have so many problems. So many, and most of the time the problems are with the mind. Most of the time. Problems with the mind. Yeah. So to control the mind, to be like sober, to be a sober, dhira, it's called dhira. Dhira statrana muyati. Someone who is not bewildered is called a dhira. Someone who is real sober, real cool person. He's together. We say he's together. And this is also in German, you have this statement saying, nicht alle Tassen im Schrank haben. You have not all the cups in your cupboard. It's just a saying, you know. Jemand hat nicht alle Tassen im Schrank, meaning there's no order. Everything is like upside down. So where should be the order? The order should be in our chitta, actually in our heart. And cheto darpana marjanam. The chanting should clean that. And not just clean, we always understand clean, but should bring order into our whole being. So anger is just a symptom of unsatisfaction. And then we should understand, what do you want? What is it? Because we think, no, I'm angry. But no, this is just a symptom for the problem, for the cause. And sometimes it's very deep. So not sometimes, every time, it's very deep. And Krishna consciousness is also in that sense a psychological process. It has to be. It's part of self-realization to find out what is actually my problem. Because if you're angry or extremely affected by any emotion, how you want to surrender to Krishna in a happy way? You cannot. Because you're completely not in the right consciousness. And this is the reason why Prabhupada always says, Sattva Guna. We have to come into Sattva Guna, because only from Sattva Guna you can effectively practice Krishna consciousness. Raja Guna Samudbhavaha, it's said here. Rajas is the cause for this anger. So when you're in Sattva, there is no anger. You can control it. Yeah. So when we are in Rajas, when we are in anger and all that, we cannot practice Krishna consciousness. How we want to lovingly chant Hare Krishna when you want to kill someone? Because you're so angry. I want to kill him. I want to, Hare Krishna, oh, Krishna, I love you so much, but still I want to kill him. And you think 1,000 ways how you can kill him. There are so many wonderful ways how I can see how he dies. Not nice, I think. I don't think this is very nice. Or maybe this is an extreme example. It was just extreme example. But if you are somehow agitated or not happy. So this is a challenge. And we have to work on that. And understand it. And really understand, why am I not satisfied? Why do I have desires, expectations, all this uncleared, uncleared energies? Good. So this was more the internal Rudra principle. And now Prabhupada in the purport went also in the external Rudra principle, which is manifested in the powers of nature. Singade Bhagavan Ki. Yeah. So Maharudra, isn't this one of the names of Nrsingadev? Don't we sing every morning? Something like Sadashiva. But is there not some other? In this 108 names of Krishna, of Nrsingadev. Wasn't there something? But anyway, Nrsingadev is angry. He is. Where was this? Charu was very cute. He was asked, what is the mood of Nrsingadev? Yeah. Nrsingadev! And what's the mood of Krishna? oh, Krishna. On Nisingadev, and Krishna. Yeah, Nisingadev is seen by many as this principle, as this power. Here is more, we say, Shanta, peaceful. Because he killed Hiranyakashipu already, Prahlad sits on his lap, the job is done. But in the beginning, he's really angry. Terribly angry. So anyway, so Prabhupada speaks here on the Rudra principle in the forces of nature. And this was a quite powerful part of the text, actually, where Prabhupada says that when the sky is overcast with dense clouds and roars in anger, and Prabhupada personifies the sky who roars in anger with thunder. This is the Rudra principle. And then the wind blows very fiercely. When there's a real strong wind, it's quite frightening. Like all the forces of nature, when they unfold and show their power, it's very frightening, isn't it? Thunder, strong wind, like thunderstorm. And the seawater, when it's infuriated by wind, when there are huge waves and the sky is dark, it's daylight, but the sky is so dark because of clouds, it's almost night. It's really dark and huge black waves, and you're in a small tiny boat in the middle of the ocean. I think this is quite frightening. And flashes in the sky. I think this is very frightening. This is the Rudra principle. And the boat can be even very, very big. We think, oh, my small boat on the ocean. Big boats are like nothing. Like big boats are small boats on the ocean. The ocean is so big. And I heard this story by one seaman, how they called. He's a devotee actually, and he was his whole life. He was from North Germany, and he is living on one of these islands in North Germany, on the eastern part. And he's like a typical North German person, older devotee, and he was his whole life on the sea. And in the Ostsee. I don't know in what boats, maybe fishing, or I don't know what it was before I was a devotee. And he said when there were storms, it was really crazy. And the boats are actually quite strong. They can withstand also big storms. But what happens is that the waves, they become like walls, gigantic, and they go and they take the boat in a short moment up 20, 30, 40, 50 meters. It's like a roller coaster. Because if the wave comes under the boat, it puts the boat up. And the next one, it goes down. It was like, it's very crazy. It's very feared by the sea people. And he said, once there were two boats, and they were some distance apart of each other, and they both, and in such big storm, up and down, and they could see them. They go up, and then they were down, and they up, and like this. And sometimes waves in between, so they could not see each other. And they were in this connection, so to say, and then they went up, down, and then was a big wave in between, and when this wave went back, he looked at them, and the whole boat was gone. The other boat was gone, it was just, swallowed by the sea. I don't know if they found them again, but he just told me that later. And suddenly they were gone. Right? So it is the ocean is one of the most powerful forces. The most part of the planet is covered by this water of the ocean. And when the wind comes, this is very powerful. So, this is frightening. This is also the Rudra principle. And what Prabhupada also... And then Prabhupada mentioned also fire. I think he also mentioned fire. Also very powerful. So, why is this the Rudra principle? Because it's destruction. We have the Trimurti, they're called Trimurti, even though Prabhupada doesn't use this term so regularly, but like in Hindu terminology, Trimurti means Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. They are like the three original forces of the material world. Brahma stands for creation, Vishnu for maintenance, and Rudra for destruction. And in the end of when the universe finds its end, meets its end, there's complete destruction. And this is done by Shiva, by Rudra, who dances. He makes a dance, actually. It's interesting and this is the dance of destruction. In the end, he dances, and the whole universe disintegrates. The whole universe. He destroys the whole universe with his dancing. Very nice. Very powerful. Yes. And Rudra, he has also his associates. Huh? They all like this. They're in this mood. Huh? forces of destruction. And they enjoy it. Why not? It's their job. Okay, so then we continue the purport. There are many earthly creatures who constantly represent the Rudra element. So now Prabhupada goes more, right, in this, according to this saying here by Brahmā, who says, these are your places of residence. So Prabhupada explained this internal and the human, external forces, but now other living entities who represent Rudra. The snake, tiger, and lion are always representations of Rudra. Sometimes because of extreme heat of the sun, there are cases of heat stroke, and due to the extreme coldness created by the moon, there are cases of collapse. There are many sages empowered with the influence of austerity, and many yogis, philosophers, and renouncers who sometimes exhibit their acquired power under the influence of the Rudra principles of anger and passion. The great yogi Durvasa, under the influence of this Rudra principle, picked a quarrel with Maharaj Ambarish, and the Brahmana boy exhibited the Rudra principle by cursing the great king Parikshit. When the Rudra principle is exhibited by persons who are not engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the angry person falls down from the peak of his improved position. This is confirmed as follows. Yenera vindaksha vimuktamaninas tvayasta bhavad avishuddha buddhayaha aruya krichrena parang padang tata patantya do nadrita yushmat angrayaha. Bhagavatam 10:2-32. The most lamentable fall down of the impersonalist is due to his false and unreasonable claim of being one with the Supreme. Okay, this was the end of the purport. And maybe I don't go on too long, but there were so many points, we could speak so much. So the verse which Prabhupada quoted in the end, is a very famous verse. Ye nera vindaksha vimuktamaninas tvai asta bhavat avishuddha buddhayaha aruya krachena parang padang tata patanti ado nadrita yushmat angrayaha. Right? Everyone heard this verse before? Very famous verse where Prabhupada, actually it's a verse spoken by the demigods to Krsna when he was in the womb. It's the second chapter of the 10th canto. The prayers of the demigods to Krsna who was in the womb of Devaki. And they prayed to him, oh dear Lord, now you appear, you're about to appear. And in this verse it said, those whose buddhi is not pure, whose intelligence is, Buddha, he said, avishuddha buddhayaha, avishuddha, impure, dirty. They have dirty intelligence. They never surrender to you. And because of this, they might think themselves liberated. Vimuktamanina. Vimuktamanina means liberated in your mind. Oh, I'm so liberated, I'm transcendental, above everything. And because they only think themselves liberated and they don't have a secure position of shelter at your lotus feet, they fall down from their position. Even though parang padam means like the supreme position. They might be even a very elevated and high position. And due to the austerities and detachment and all this, they might be really aloof. But because they don't have the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, they fall down. So it's a very famous verse. Prabhupada quotes very often. So, and in the end, I wanted to tell you a short story and about Krsna. Because in this verse, there was a word which struck me, and it's called Vyoma. Yeah. Vyoma means the sky. And when you hear the word Vyoma, what do you think? Only the word Vyoma. Huh? Yes, exactly. This was also what I was thinking. Vyoma. Because there's one demon, he's called Vyoma Asura. The Vyoma Asura. And this Vyoma means sky. And I think, why is he called sky demon? And maybe everyone can get this as a homework to think, why is he the sky demon? So this story is very short. It's in the 37th chapter of Bhagavatam, 10th canto. And it's in connection with the Keshi demon. It's called, Krishna kills the Keshi demon and Vyomasura. Yeah? And I don't tell the whole chapter now, but Vyomasura came, Krishna and the cowherd boys, they were, herding the cows, having their fun. And they were playing a game. an interesting game. They played, I don't know how to call it, but some boys were playing shepherds, some boys were playing sheeps, and some were playing, I think, thieves. Yeah, I think it was like this, thieves. So the shepherds had to protect the sheep from the thief, and the thief, when they take some sheeps, they were then hiding them or something. So Vyomasura came in this scene, and Vyomasura is actually, he is called a Maha Asura, a big demon. And he's the son of Maya Danava. And Maya Danava is the greatest black magician and black technician actually in the whole universe. Maya Danava is also the architect of the demons. He's like the equivalent towards Vishwakarma, who is the architect of the demigods. But it said Maya Danava is not just an architect who like builds houses. You know, if you're going to an architect, how can I build my house? He is more like a black magician and technician. This is actually what he said. He builds not just houses, he builds whole demonic civilizations full with all kinds of mystical machines and all that. High-tech, so to say. Yeah, so the high-tech, what we have nowadays, is actually a representation of Maya Danava's intelligence and is a symptom of Kali Yuga. Prabhupada also said that Kali Yuga is the age of machines. In other ages, you don't have it. If you read the Bhagavatam about different ages, which are ideal ages, Kali Yuga is not ideal. You never read about internet or scanners or 3D printers or, you never read about that. Where is television set in the 10th canto in Krishna's Leela? So this is the ideal civilization. It's a natural civilization connect with nature. And this is all Ugra Karma. This camera and this microphone, this is all Ugra Karma. Ugra Karma means terrible activity. Terrible. And this word is used in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, where there are the demonic qualities described. And there it said the demons, they always do Ugra Karma. Terrible activity. Yeah. So anyway, Maya Danava is this architect and technician and black magician, and he has a son. He has many sons actually, and one of them was Vyomasura. And Vyomasura came to kill Krishna. But how was he doing this? And this is also very interesting. In general, what are the demons at first doing before they enter Vrindavan and they want to challenge Krishna? What are they doing first? What's the first thing the demon does? Even before entering. What's the first? Yeah, okay, Kamsa might instruct them, but then when they are about to do it, what are they doing? Like, I would say almost every demon, They transform. Like Keshi is a horse, but Keshi was not a horse. They are like humanoid beings, but they transform. Aghasura, it said he transformed in this huge snake, and all transform. So then I was thinking, interesting, why are they not coming in the original form? Because it would be too obvious. Hiding, disguising, tricking. Ravana was also doing like this. Yeah, is one of the ways of the demons. To pretend to be something what they are not, and then strike from behind, more or less. The demons, they were not coming for an equal fight. Krishna, come, I challenge you. No, they want to trick and kill, which is very unfair, actually. Yeah, it is also according to the what is it? The Hague, Den Haag. Where was it? There are laws for warfare, and they were. I don't know when they did it, before the First World War, afterwards, they were not Haga Tribunal, this is something different. I forgot, but in some place, I forgot. They came together, and the states, the heads of states, and they wanted to figure out what are the laws for war. Whenever we come into war with each other, there must be some rules. Yeah, so there are some rules for this. And one of the rules is that the white flag shall never be misused for like guerrilla warfare, something like this. That means if you raise a white flag, which means surrender, you cannot, I surrender, and you have a gun behind you, and then they come or whatever, and then you shoot them. Something like this. There are some certain rules. And also, if you raise a white flag and you're captured, the opposite army is not allowed to harm you. Actually, it's a law. When I lose and they take me, they cannot torture me, they cannot kill. The Kriegsgefangenen, I don't know how to say in English, they have to be treated respectfully and menschlich, according to human values. So there are some, anyway, they don't keep that, right? But there are actually these rules. So, but the demon is exactly doing this, waving the white flag, killing and all that. So the demons are doing, they change. And what were the demons doing often? They transformed into a form which, what is it? Vertrauen zu missbrauchen, to misuse the trust. So Vyomasura was changing into which form? He was changing into the form of a cowherd boy. There's a cowherd boy. And there's another demon called Vatsasura. He was changing to the form of a calf. Right? What can be better? You seem to be completely innocent like a calf. I'm just a calf. Krishna, pet me, I'm so cute. And then I'll kill you. Huh? Like the sheep in the wolf in the sheep skin, fur, yeah? So also the Vyomasura was saying, what do I do? Okay, I transform into a cowherd boy, and then I'll try to. And we have the second, and I read this now before because of that Vyomasura, were actually the details of his story. And I remember also Pralambasura. Pralambasura was also transforming into a cowherd boy. So it's two times the demons tried like this strategy, but failed miserably. So also Vyomasura came as a cowherd boy, and what was he doing? He was capturing the sheep and all the cowherd boys and put them into a cave and put a big stone in front of the cave. And he was capturing everyone, collecting everyone, and in the end there were only 4 or 5 left. Bhagavatam says 4 or 5. And this is when Krishna saw, where is everyone gone? Oh, this cowherd boy, this new cowherd boy was stealing everyone. Oh, okay, it's a demon, I'll kill him. And just killed him. It's like a sacrificial animal is killed. And the acharyas explain, it said, the acharyas say, a sacrificial animal is killed by strangulation. So Krishna kind of strangled him. Must be an interesting scene, or Krishna kills a cowherd boy. Really terrible. But it was a demon. And he transformed actually this huge demon-like form. It was huge. And I don't know, Krishna was very small, just a cowherd boy. But he could not flee. The demon could not flee. He tried everything, like Trinavarta. He could not. Krishna is too powerful. And killed him. And then he went to the cave, put this stone away, and his friends came out and had fun again. Yeah, so this was the little story in the end. Thank you very much for your attention. Anything you want to add? Any questions? Mataji? Yeah, thank you. So just for the viewers who could not listen, Mataji said that there are still the caves, or the cave where Vyomasura kidnapped the cowherd boys, and it's very small because it's shrinking after all these thousands of years. And there's also a print of Balaram's hand there, which has a little shrine which worships the hand of Balaram. Yeah, it's very, very wonderful. If you go to Vrindavan, there are all these places of these pastimes you read, and you can go there and meditate about the pastime and be more absorbed. It's the reason why it's very important to visit holy places like this. Okay, Björn? Okay, so in English now, and I will repeat your question, and you can say if I understood it rightly. So what I said in my lecture, we should not be attached to our ways, but how is it if we want to have a goal, maybe a spiritual goal, and we want to follow it, but we actually always fail. So how to deal with this? Yeah. So because I said we shouldn't be attached to my way, and now you say, but if I have spiritual goals, I want to finish them, I should be attached because it's important, but actually I fail, and then I'm angry or frustrated. Yeah. The first thing is, we should distinguish between like a real materialistic way, and when the materialist is attached to his goal, and a spiritual. So spiritual, we have to have goals. Definitely, you have to have goals, and you have to have a way to reach the goal, and you should be in a certain way also attached to that, meaning you should be committed and determined to go the path. But at the same time, there should be also some detachment there, because if you're only attached and really fixed on that, and it should not be otherwise, and sometimes because it doesn't work out, then become really, really frustrated. And how to deal with this frustration. Or you have your goal, want to chant so many rounds of this and that, and some devotee asks you for another service, and then you might be not very kind to the devotees. So what is the higher principle? So it should be understood. So I just can speak general. If maybe you have a more specific concern, we can talk about that too. But more about the frustration if we cannot reach our spiritual goal. In one sense, it's good that we have some frustration, some... some Enttäuschung, some disappointment with ourselves. Because we should say, why cannot I do that? Why cannot follow that? Why cannot reach that? I wanted to do it, and I'm too weak. And in one sense, it's good because it shows that we mean it serious. It's a series for us. It's good, but we should not lament forever with it. We should have some little point of little disappointment. But then we should feel ourselves also humble and helpless and take shelter in Krishna and in the devotees. And we should not become depressed. We shouldn't become depressed. This is the thing. Depression does not help. And self-lamentation, pitying yourself. I'm so bad. No, this is not good. But actually, the best thing is to learn from the mistake. Because mistakes are unavoidable, especially if you have such high goals. It's not that you walk through like nothing. It's like nothing, no problem. I reach it without troubles. Like Prabhupada, he had a huge mission, had a huge goal, and there were so many failures, you could say. So many failures. But how was Prabhupada reacting? Didn't work like this? Then let me try like that. He might have at times been also, why it didn't work? But I don't think that Prabhupada was, I thought it will work like this, and it didn't work, and now I'm angry, and I'll leave the whole thing. No, I think he was quite reasonable, mature, and cool about it, and really, okay, it didn't work like that, good to know, let me try now, like this. So, and every time you fall, you just get up again. And you shake off the dust and okay, let's continue, no problem. This is also a sign of ego to think, I can never fall, I should never fall, I'm unfailable. No? Only Krishna is unfailable, he's Achyuta. And we fall all the time. It's natural. But we should get up and learn from the mistake and don't make it again. And even though you make it again, okay, but if you make it again and again and again, that's not good. So learn from the mistake. Whenever I have some mistake, I try to really see it positive. Okay, good. This gives me some good determination, inspiration to go more determined, to try better. Let me try now better. So there are actually many good things in the mistake. And Thomas Edison is always quoted like this. He tried, it said 1,000 times to develop the light bulb. And it's not that he had this idea, I'll make a light bulb, and he went into laboratory, put this together, and pushed the button and didn't work. And he said, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It was a stupid idea. No, he said, it must work. Okay, it didn't work like this. Maybe now, maybe now, maybe now, maybe now. And he was so determined and so patient also. And in the end, it worked. Heureka. Yeah. So in that sense, it's good to make a mistake that you see, good that this path or this try revealed itself to be not working, because better sooner than later that I know this is the wrong one. Okay, but still, to know the wrong one is also knowledge of what is the good one. This one will not. How is it called? Knowledge through failure or something? Trial and error? Trial and error, huh? It's called trial and error. Huh? You try and you make an error and you know, okay, this not, this out. Huh? So there are many positive things about failure in that sense. Many positive things. Yeah? So try to understand, okay, I tried and it didn't work like this. And now it gives me more inspiration to try it better. I want to become better. And not losing hope, not being pitying yourself, not blaming others either. That might be also a reason for blaming others. Because of him or her, I failed. No, you failed because of you. But learn a good thing. So yeah, we should maturely and reasonably and successfully deal with failure. Yeah. Okay? Good. Okay, thank you so much. I wish you a nice Sunday. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.